Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Sunday evening, November 3, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below, letting me know what the weather has been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let's just take a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook, and we can see that as of their latest update that just came out at 6:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually the same as Jamaica time now that we're on Eastern Standard Time. So this one just came out almost 15 minutes ago. We see that we still have tropical storm Patty right here across the northern portion of the northern Atlantic, definitely a large portion of the Azores Islands. We now have two areas that have a low chance of development across the waters to the north of Hispaniola, and we now have a potential tropical cyclone. And we're going to be looking at all of these entities from right to left. First, we're going to be starting with Patty, but before we even look at Patty, we need to take a look at the visible satellite images to highlight all of these entities on the wide Atlantic. We can see Patty up here spinning away, pushing off to the east of the Azores Islands. You can see all of the clouds associated with that area that has a low chance of development across the waters to the north of Hispaniola. And we can see the potential tropical cyclone right here to the south of Jamaica to the north of Colombia. If we focus our attention on the close-up of Patty, we can see right here most of the thunderstorms, most of the bad weather associated with it has now pushed off towards the east of the Azores Islands. They were definitely battered within the past 24 hours. Majority of the bad weather is definitely moving on as we speak. As of the latest update from the Hurricane Center, they've stated that it's moving towards the east at 17 miles per hour and is packing maximum sustained winds of about 45 miles per hour. So somewhere along the lines of a low-end tropical storm. We know tropical storms pack winds of anywhere from 39 to 73 miles per hour. So 45 miles per hour is definitely closer to tropical depression status than to hurricane status. And we see that it's definitely on its way to Western Europe. Here's a map showing Europe in general. And it's on its way right here to Portugal, right there. And then possibly affecting portion of northwestern Spain in the process. So they're definitely going to be getting in on some amount of activity, even although the Hurricane Center has it downgrading back to a tropical depression as represented by the D's on Tuesday. They still might get some amount of bad weather. Let's focus our attention on what the Hurricane Center states regarding these other entities. We can see that as of the latest update, they've stated regarding the system, that's basically what we've been watching for the past couple of days. They've stated that it still has a 10% chance of cyclone formation within the next 2 days as well as within the next 7 days. But they've stated a trough of low pressure is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms along with gusty winds over the southeastern Bahamas and adjacent waters. Slow development of this system is possible during the next day or so while it moves westward toward Cuba and the Bahamas. This system is expected to be absorbed into the low pressure area over the Caribbean Sea. So they're talking about the potential tropical cyclone. It's definitely going to be absorbing it by the time it gets closer to Cuba. And they've stated that by late Monday, ending its chances of development, that's when it's been absorbed. Regardless of formation, locally heavy rains are possible during the next couple of days across the Greater Antilles and the Bahamas. So portion of Hispaniola, Cuba definitely going to be getting on more bad weather as we continue to go through the upcoming week. But they've also highlighted the area again. They don't have any area tagged yet. It hasn't come from the main development region as yet. but the area is tagged for some amount of tropical cyclone formation within the next 7 days. They've stated here, an area of disturbed weather is expected to develop near the northern Leeward Islands around the middle of the week. Some slow development of this system is possible after that time as it moves generally westward over the southwestern Atlantic. And we see that they've given it a 0% chance of cyclone formation within the next 2 days and a 20% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. And the big thing on everybody's lips, that's potential tropical cyclone number 18. But what's a potential tropical cyclone? We actually highlighted this on our pages. It's basically a way in which the Hurricane Center can issue watches or warnings, considering that it's not yet a depression or a storm, but it's on its way there. So they've come up with this thing since 2017 to prevent any hazards, people getting caught off guard that there's bad weather out there, something that could become something shortly. So definitely a good thing in general is what they did with these potential tropical cyclones. And we know the next name on the list that it will acquire is Rafael. And if we take a closer look at this system, we can see it right there, definitely spinning away to the north of Colombia. We can see Colombia right here. Look at all the clouds, the showers, and the thunderstorms associated with this system. Definitely still closer to Colombia as we speak in terms of the bad weather. I wouldn't be surprised if it stalls out down there throughout the night tonight, possibly trying to develop even stronger than what the Hurricane Center has in store in terms of the intensity forecast. We know how these systems are when they're in the Caribbean in general. We can see that we definitely have a lot of thunderstorms associated with it. It's definitely trying to get its act together as it pushes towards the north, towards Jamaica. And the supercomputer models have been persistent in the fact that it's going to be going north and possibly come close to Jamaica. Many of them even making it up to tropical storm status in the green lines. The spaghetti models here from the EPS, that's the Euro models. GFS models showing something similar, some of them trying to make it up to hurricane status in the yellows. We'll see exactly what unfolds with that. And even the potential tropical cyclone model intensity guidance in consensus, many of them definitely sure that it's going to become a tropical storm within the next 12 hours. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe later on tonight into early tomorrow morning we have a tropical storm on our hands as of right now. Not yet a tropical storm, not yet a tropical depression, just a potential tropical cyclone so that they can issue the watches and the warnings. And we definitely have those up as we speak. This is the latest from the Hurricane Center. They've stated that it is moving towards the north at 7 miles per hour. It's packing maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour. And if we actually go back to the imagery that was showing these winds, we see that it's nowhere near tropical storm force winds. It's nowhere near tropical, well, it's close to tropical depression if it's packing maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour. So it's not yet a tropical depression, it's not yet a tropical storm, just as stated. And if we take a look back at what the Hurricane Center is also stating, they've put Jamaica in a code blue. That's basically what we see here on the key on the bottom. That's a tropical storm warning. And they've also put the Cayman Islands up for a tropical storm. Well, a hurricane watch in the pink. Even although, as of this latest update, they have it coming through the islands, the Cayman Islands at that, by 1 p.m. on Tuesday as a tropical storm. But who knows, maybe it could develop. We know these things go. Sometimes the intensity is definitely bumped up a bit. And don't be surprised if maybe tomorrow we have an H to the left of Jamaica and then more of an M closer to Cuba right there that represents major hurricanes. We know how these things go. We have a lot of very warm water across the Caribbean in general, and we know the intensity of these systems are not the Hurricane Center's strong suit. If we remember that system that affected Mexico a year ago, if not 2 years ago, that just rapidly intensified from a tropical storm to a category 5. Boy, we hope we don't have anything like that with Rafael, but we have to pay close attention to exactly what takes place. But as of right now, we're under a tropical storm warning, and the system is going to be passing us from the south and the west side of the island. And we know what usually takes place. The top right hand side of these systems is definitely the nasty side with all of the strongest winds and heaviest rainfall, and we're going to be in for some of that as we head into Monday. And if we take a look at what the supercomputer models are showing, we're going to be starting first as usual with the Euro model, and we're going to be going out to the next 96 hours, the next 72 hours, we're going to be focusing our attention right here, and we're going to be looking at the rainfall on the key on the right, the greens, the yellows, the oranges, and we're going to be doing the same for the latest GFS models. So as we go out in time, we see what's taking place as we head into Monday. 12Z on Monday is actually 7 a.m. on Monday. Look at all of the heavy rainfall to the south of Jamaica, the greens, the yellows. Look at the isobars right there in the L. Definitely some bad weather in general starting to take shape and push northward towards the island as we continue throughout the day on Monday. Definitely getting even worse. 21Z on Monday is actually 4 p.m. Look at the heavy rainfall. Look at the system closing in on Jamaica. Definitely a tropical storm by that time. Then as we head into early Tuesday morning, 9Z on Tuesday is actually 4 a.m. That's when we're going to be getting the heaviest of the weather. Definitely throughout the night, it could definitely be a bad situation. Flash flooding. We see all of the yellows. Look at the oranges, the reds coming into the island. And as we continue to go out in time, we see what takes place. It pushes off towards the Cayman Islands right there as we head into the late hours of Tuesday. So 21Z on Tuesday, let's say about 4 p.m. But we're still going to be getting in on a lot of rainfall plaguing portion of the island by that time. Let's go back. This is the closest pass. Let us look at the 12Z run of the GFS. So yes, as we go out in time, 12Z on Monday, which is actually 7 a.m. We have a lot of rainfall right there coming into portions of Jamaica from the south. Definitely see more isobars to signal that it's definitely a strengthening system coming into the island. Definitely stronger on the GFS than what the Euro was showing. And we see it definitely coming in to, if not southwestern Jamaica, passing close to us, maybe a kind of path similar to what Beryl did, skirting the southwestern coastline of the island. Definitely some bad weather in general. Look at the greens, look at the yellows, the oranges, the reds. It represents anywhere from 4 all the way up to what, 12, 16 inches of rainfall for sure. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with the time. 6Z on Tuesday, which is actually 1 a.m. on Tuesday. That's when the system should be showing us the worst of its weather. And even the 18Z run that just came out an hour ago showing something similar right there. Look at the heavy rainfall coming into the island as well. So we're definitely going to be in for it. Definitely going to be getting some bad weather, and even the waves are going to be ridiculous. We see the purples that's expected on Monday. The purples into the burgundy colors that represent anywhere from 2 all the way up to 4 meter wave height. And we see that on both the Euro and the GFS models, and it should be coming in more so from this direction around the area of low pressure. Definitely some high wave heights across portions of southern Jamaica from Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Thomas, sections of Portland getting in on the mix. And that's because the winds are going to be strong. Look at the wind website. Both maps are in consensus that it's definitely going to be coming in from this direction, more of a counterclockwise flow around the area of low pressure that's expected. And we see the strong winds as represented by what we see on the key on the bottom right, the yellows, the goldish colors into the burgundy colors. That represents anywhere from 25 all the way up to close to 40 knot winds. And we've been talking about the Saffir-Simpson wind scale. We use miles per hour on the Hurricane Center website, but all of these can be converted to knots. And if we get all the way up to 40 knots, it's definitely around 34 to 64 knots that represent tropical storm force in general, anywhere from 39 to 73 miles per hour. So we're definitely up there in terms of the wind speeds, which explains the high wave height. And in terms of the accumulated precipitation that's expected, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 6Z on Wednesday. This is all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 1 a.m. on Wednesday. And I mean, look at all of the rainfall that's expected. This is just ridiculous. Anywhere from the dark reds into the purples and the pinks, stretching all the way from north of Colombia all the way up into portions of Jamaica. It's representing all of what we see around the key on the right, the 2 inches, the 3 inches, 4, 6, all the way up into the 10-inch range in the light blue. Can definitely see some of that in the portion of eastern St. Thomas right there. That is just ridiculous amounts of rainfall. It's not like it's just one model showing it. The Euro model is showing the same thing. So it's both the Euro and the GFS showing all of that heavy rainfall that's expected. There's definitely going to be flash flooding. If you live in a flood prone area, I would get to higher ground. I would definitely try to stay at a shelter with relatives or friends. Even the close-up of the accumulated precipitation is ridiculous. We just looked at the rainfall in inches, but this is the close-up of it in millimeters. Look at the dark reds. Look at the purples. All of this representing anywhere from 100 all the way up to what? Close to 200 millimeters of rainfall on the Euro. GFS even more robust, showing even the lighter purples in there. That represents what? Close to 250 millimeters of rainfall, affecting especially southern and eastern parishes such as Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrews, St. Thomas, Portland, St. Mary getting in on the mix. Not saying that northern Jamaica can't get in on the heavy rainfall, but clearly the heaviest of the rainfall should be across the southern parishes. And we're grateful that the northeastern parishes that have been drenched for the past couple of weeks are not going to be getting in on that, because boy, they've been getting it, especially in St. Mary and Portland with that northeasterly flow, that relief rainfall. We've been seeing the videos, we've been seeing the flooding, we've been seeing the landslides. Even the latest post on Twitter from the NWA highlights that there's already been a landslide today across sections of St. Mary. So they're definitely susceptible to even more flooding because of the saturated ground. And boy, if they were to get all of this that southern Jamaica is going to get, it would even be worse. But they're going to be getting a lot of rainfall either way. Lots of flooding, lots of inundation, lots of rivers in spate. That's exactly what's expected. Don't worry, we're going to be waking up tomorrow. Maybe not necessarily heavy weather, but as the day progresses, especially as we head into Monday evening, into the night time, that's when the worst of it is expected across the island. Alright, so let us take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening. We can see that we still have that ridge of high pressure to the north that we know is responsible for sending all of these entities from east to west across the main development region into the Caribbean. We see that we still have that area of low pressure that has induced a trough in the portion of Hispaniola, still attached to that frontal system stretching all the way up into the northern portion of the North Atlantic. We still have another frontal system stretching into portion of the southeastern United States. We see a tropical wave right here across the waters affecting northeastern South America, and we see the area of low pressure associated with the potential tropical cyclone right there to the south of Jamaica. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can make out all of the clouds associated with these entities. The frontal system stretching all the way from the northeastern section of North Atlantic all the way down into portion of the southeastern Bahamas right there. We can see the clouds associated with that tropical wave. To the northeast of South America, you can see the clouds associated with the potential tropical cyclone trying to get its act together as well. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean today later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Sunday, November 3, 2024. It was stated that parts of northern Jamaica would have received some rainfall last night, that's Saturday night, into Sunday morning, and that section of some eastern, central, and western parishes would have received some afternoon rainfall on Sunday. I know northern parishes, we're talking about those parishes on top, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. While eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, like St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, and St. Catherine. While western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, and Trelawney. And what ended up happening? We highlighted in the video that we posted this morning on our YouTube page that we were getting rainfall from last night into this morning, plaguing portion of northern Jamaica. And we also highlighted the huge blow-up of convection that the potential tropical cyclone was undergoing at that time. This was posted at around 4:30 a.m., around 5:30 a.m. Definitely some bad weather affecting northern Jamaica for sure. Anywhere from Trelawney eastward, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland for sure. And then as the day progressed, at around 12:01 p.m. another post was made here on our Twitter page. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but they're also made on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there, as we may post throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So the visible satellite image was posted at around a little after midday. And we saw the clouds still bring some overcast skies and isolated showers, especially to northern Jamaica, anywhere from Trelawney eastward, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland getting in on the mix, sections of Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland getting in on some of that as well. And even the infrared satellite image was posted at around 1:05 p.m., highlighting the high cold cloud tops and the thunderstorms that were starting to take shape across section of the island, especially the water to the north of Portland, south of St. Thomas. Some thunderstorms definitely affected northern St. Catherine, section of St. Mary, St. Anne, Trelawney, section of northern Manchester, northern St. Elizabeth, sections of Westmoreland, and the western Hanover got in on some of the mix. And then the infrared satellite image was posted, highlighting all of the thunderstorms that were taking place. And I mean, we definitely got some heavy thunderstorms across portions of western Westmoreland, sections of western Hanover. Negril definitely got some bad weather for sure. Some thunderstorms into portions of Manchester right there. Some thunderstorms out to sea to the south of St. Thomas for sure at that time. This was around 2:15 p.m. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images before the day was done, we can definitely see that flow, the lower level clouds pushing more so from east to west across the island, the upper level clouds, the high cold cloud tops being sheared off towards the northeast, and we're still getting a some amount of isolated showers as we wrapped up the day. Some rainfall right here to the east of the island, some rainfall still coming into Portland, some rainfall exiting the coast of Westmoreland as well. And if we take a look at the infrared satellite images to confirm this, we're even seeing most of it clearing out. But look at the thunderstorms right here to the east of St. Thomas. Definitely setting up for some bad weather in general. And we're going to be looking at the current image shortly. But before we do that, we need to highlight what was taking place across section of the corporate area. This live stream from See Jamaica's YouTube channel is showing crossroads where we were definitely getting on some light to moderate rainfall at this time. This was 2:23 p.m. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that these streams are here on YouTube for your viewing. It's free. Subscribe to their channel if I were you, because they're planning on increasing the amount of cameras that they have in and around the island. So just so that you don't miss out, subscribe today for sure. So we can definitely see the rainfall, definitely plaguing portions of crossroads at this time, 2:23. Definitely some light to moderate rainfall. People going about their businesses for sure. Lots of clouds in the hills of northern St. Andrew, southern St. Mary, southwestern Portland as well. We even have the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the CIMH, that's the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, confirming the rainfall across sections of the island. It was definitely affecting northern Jamaica, as we can see here in the area shaded in green, especially last night into this morning, as well as section of some southern parishes during the afternoon. So it was definitely across eastern, central, and western parishes, especially during the afternoon, just as predicted. And we definitely have some comments here confirming the rainfall from some of our followers. One here from Rose Richards on our Twitter page stating fear with droplets of rain, southern St. Catherine. We also had Jomar Parks confirming rainfall in northern Clarendon on the border with South St. Anne, highlighting a video that he posted of the moderate to heavy rainfall that was plaguing his area at the time. Thank you very much for the video clip, Jomar. Definitely some nice rainfall there. And we even had some comments coming in here on our Instagram page. We had everything Tishka stating been raining in St. Mary non-stop since Friday, October 25. I don't think the earth can absorb any more moisture. And I've been talking about the relief rainfall that they've been getting. So luckily, with the system that's coming, you guys aren't going to be getting the worst of the rainfall in St. Mary for sure. The worst of it should be on the south side. So that's one plus, because you guys have been getting it and the ground is already saturated. We also had I_am_no_drama stating rain fell around 2 a.m. in Spanish Town. We have DJ Cool Kid 876 stating I love rain. I know a lot of people don't like it. We had Gione_ stating pouring in Stony Hill. We also have another comment right here from First Lady _Amanda stating raining in Mandeville. We had _.1._Ryan_ stating so much lightning there on Negril side. Yes, definitely when this post was made, look at the sparkling white dots that we know represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. Definitely some bad weather that was taking place across western Westmoreland for sure. Gorgeous_Martina stating Linstead rain, well tread ways. And finally we have some comments. One from the Shy Dude 656 stating uptone rain, and Sood Thomas stating raining. So that indeed confirms the rainfall across portion of the island today, just as predicted. Northern Jamaica for the morning and the night, last night, and Eastern, Central, and Western Jamaica during the afternoon. And if we take a look at the very latest still image that just came out, 15 minutes past the hour, so 0015 UTC, is about the same as 7:15 p.m. So this just came out 8 minutes ago. We can definitely see some thunderstorms coming into portion of Eastern Jamaica, section of Eastern St. Thomas, section of Portland getting on some of the action as we speak. Definitely some bad weather. Let's see if we can match it to what we're seeing on the latest Cuban Doppler radar images. Look at that. This looks like a huge squall line coming into portion of Eastern Jamaica. Let's reload the images. Boy, I don't like reloading the images now because the Cuban Doppler radar loves to glitch out. But we can see it here, the latest images as of 7:10 p.m. So we don't have to be using any more Eastern Standard Time and calculating, because we're on the time now, on the right time. So it just came out at 7:10, so this was what, 13 minutes ago, and we can make out some of that heavy rainfall. Look at the dark greens, the yellows that represent anywhere from some light to moderate to some heavy rainfall. Most of it's still out to sea, but some of it's definitely coming into portion of St. Thomas as we speak. And if we take a look at the Guantanamo Bay Cuban Naval Radar Station Imagery, we can make out the line of shores right here to the east of St. Thomas and Portland. We can also make out some of the rainfall affecting portions of eastern Cuba as well as the western peninsula of Haiti. We can even make out some isolated shores to the south of the Cayman Islands right there, pushing in from east-northeast to west-southwest. If we take a look at the very latest live cam from See Jamaica's YouTube channel showing the Barbican Square, we can see nothing bad taking place. They definitely had some isolated shores across the area this afternoon, which explains the wet ground in some patches. But for the most part, it's definitely dried out now. People in their vehicles going about their business for sure. But boy, within the next 24 hours, this is definitely going to be changing. Definitely going to be seeing it raining straight at this time tomorrow. That's 7:24. If the cameras haven't glitched out because of the bad weather, maybe power outages or internet disconnections, we know how these things go. We can see as of right now the temperatures are about 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay and Kingston, especially given the weather today, so it makes sense. And by about 3 a.m. on Monday, temperature should dip down to about 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston, still remaining the same at 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GF is showing 18 on Monday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Monday. And we can see Jamaica right here for the most part embedded in some gray colors. And we can see from the key on the right, the gray colors are representative of nothing above normal or nothing below normal. So it should be average temperatures for tomorrow, especially considering that we're going to be getting a lot of rainfall. So average or normal temperatures are in the forecast, and the normal temperatures for the month of November 88 degrees Fahrenheit. And when calculated, 88 degrees Fahrenheit is about the same as 31.1 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving that 31.1 degrees Celsius for Jamaica's temperature on Monday. And if that's a bit too hot for you, you can always try your very best to beat the heat. Try eating some fresh fruits. Try eating cold food such as salads and fruits. Rest. Make sure you get enough sleep, and rest if you are feeling tired. So take a cool shower or bath to help you cool down. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to always stay hydrated throughout the day. Put away the sugary drinks. Drink water instead. Even if you're not thirsty, drink water throughout the day for sure. If we take a look at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Monday, we can see North America, the Bahamas, the Caribbean, South America, Central America definitely in the clear. Some of the brown starting to make it into portions of the Windward Islands right here, but we see the heaviest browns associated with the Saharan dust should be across the eastern to the central main development region right here. And we know all of this is being steered from east-west, all courtesy of the ridge of high pressure across the Atlantic. And we know eventually it's going to be making its way into portion of the Caribbean. But what we like to see is the fact that it's dwindling. The more it moves west, the more it dwindles, the more it weakens. And that's what we want. We don't want the Saharan dust to be causing hazy skies, triggering respiratory illnesses, asthma, sinusitis, you name it right now. Even although we know the Saharan dust is good for choking off these tropical systems like this one that's affecting us, but I would rather not have the Saharan dust at all. If you take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, just like what we stated earlier, yes, the highest wave height should be right here to the south of Jamaica coming into Jamaica. The purples represent the 2 to 4 meter wave heights, while the rest of the Caribbean should be getting on more of the blues, that represents anywhere from 1 to 1.5 meter wave heights. And the winds, making sense, the winds are spinning counterclockwise, especially to the south of Jamaica, pushing northward as we head into Monday. Definitely strengthening with the winds. Getting into the yellows that represent the 25, into the burgundies that represent close to the 40 knot wind. You can definitely see it there. But the rest of the Caribbean getting on more of those easterly to kind of southeasterly kind of winds, averaging anywhere from 10 to 15 knots. Across the Bahamas, into the Western Caribbean, more from northeasterly flow, with those winds averaging anywhere from 20 to 25 knots. If we take a closer look of Jamaica regarding tomorrow, as the system's winds start to come in, we see the strong winds definitely coming in from the east. Considering that the system is going to be pushing in like this, we're definitely going to be getting some strong easterly or southeasterly winds as this air spins counterclockwise around the system. Definitely averaging anywhere from 25 all the way up to the 40 knot wind range. And we spoke about this. The 25 to the 40 knots is basically representative of this right here, the tropical storm force wind. When we calculate the knots to the miles per hour, anywhere from 34 all the way up to 64 knots is about the same as tropical storm force, anywhere from 39 to 73. So we're definitely in for some of the strong winds for sure. Don't be surprised if there are power outages, if there's damage, if trees are falling, tree limbs, whatever the case may be. It's a whole tropical storm. And the heaviest of the weather, as stated, is going to be coming especially in the afternoon, the evening, the early morning on Tuesday. Remember that. Don't be surprised if you wake up tomorrow morning to some amount of sunshine, if not some partly cloudy skies. And we can see the area of low pressure right here. Not much wind shear that's affecting the system at all. The wind shear is represented by the blues, especially the greens, the yellows, the oranges, and reds. And we can see the heaviest wind shear across the northern portions of the basin in general. We have some slight wind shear right here from the southwest across Jamaica. And we see some of that. But by tomorrow, it should be giving off its own wind shear in general, more upper level high pressure around the system like that. Things fanning out to indicate a strengthening breathing system in general. So it's definitely going to be trying to take advantage of those conditions. So some strengthening definitely possible. If we take a look at the rainfall forecast now, the hourly rainfall forecast. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both valid for 9 a.m. tomorrow. 9 a.m. tomorrow has some rainfall coming into eastern Jamaica. Look at the blues, look at the greens. Definitely some moderate to heavy rainfall coming in for sure. St. Thomas, Portland section of Kingston. Skipping ahead to about 1 p.m. tomorrow. Look at the rainfall stretching all the way from the east to the west. We see the dark blues, we see the greens, we see the yellows, the oranges. Definitely some heavy rainfall like what we see on the key on the bottom. GFS a bit more reserved with all of the colors showing more of those darker blues than anything else. Either way, there's lots of rainfall in store and it's going to be throughout the day. It's not going to be stopping. Maybe some on and off in some spots. By 4 p.m., we see the heavy rainfall still taking place, especially out to sea on the Euro. GFS has some colors starting to come into the view. Look at the greens, the yellows, the oranges, the reds, the pinks, the purples. That's some heavy rainfall coming into portion of St. Thomas, Portland by 4 p.m. right there. Definitely setting up the stage for some bad weather in general. Work or school cannot be possible, especially tomorrow afternoon. Look at this as we head into about 8 p.m. This is what's taking place. Look at the dark blues, look at the greens. The Euro has a lot of it, stretching all the way from St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrews, St. Thomas, Portland, St. Mary. GFS, the same areas, the heaviest rainfall, especially in the yellows, the oranges, the pinks. That's going to be a bad situation. There's definitely going to be flooding taking place, lots of strong winds, lots of thunderstorms in general. Skipping ahead to about 11 p.m. Look at this. Even worse at this time according to the GFS. Look at the purples representing up to 50 millimeters of rainfall. This is just ridiculous amount of rainfall. And even the accumulated precipitation forecast maps that are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up to 10 p.m. on Monday are in consensus that the heaviest rainfall amount should be across the southern and eastern side of the island. Look, up to 1 inch. We see the 1.15, 1.53, 1.71 increasing the more east we go on the south coast. 2.26 on the Euro into the purples. Don't normally see the purples on these 1 hour totals. This is just ridiculous, as St. Thomas is definitely going to be in for it. Up to 3 inches of rainfall according to the Euro. The GFS even more robust, showing the pinks that represents the 3.64 inches of rainfall or more, maybe up to the 6 to 7 inches of rainfall. Boy, we're going to be in for it for sure. Flash flooding, definitely possible. Don't be surprised if I am unable to post a video tomorrow evening because of maybe a power outage or two or whatever the case may be. I'll see what I can do, but given what's expected, it's going to be bad. It's a tropical storm. We know it's not a hurricane, but tropical storms can definitely still do damage. Definitely cause power outages, trees falling on wires, whatever the case may be, flooding, lightning, you name it. So get yourself ready. And considering that this system is going to be affecting us, we're definitely going to be exceeding the amount of rainfall that we usually get in the month of November. In November, we usually receive far less rainfall than what we get in October. In Kingston, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the top, we usually receive up to 50 millimeters of rainfall when calculated. That's about the same as 2 inches of rainfall. In Montego Bay, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the bottom, we usually receive close to 5 inches of rainfall. When calculated, 5 inches of rainfall is about the same as 125 millimeters of rainfall. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish receives throughout the year, you can visit weatherandclimate.com and you can use this nice little graphic right here that converts the rainfall from inches to millimeters. We know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall right here that we receive on the rain gauge. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have the clouds associated with the potential tropical cyclone, bringing lots of showers and thunderstorms to portion of Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica as we speak. So too, some rainfall across sections of El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua getting on some of the action. Some rainfall into the eastern Caribbean as well, anywhere from Dominica northward, Guadeloupe, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Martin, St. Kitts and Nevis, Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands, section of Dominican Republic, Haiti, eastern Cuba, the southern Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos getting on some amount of rainfall. And if we take a look at what's happening across the northeastern Caribbean right now, we see some heavy rainfall still plaguing portion of the US and British Virgin Islands. associated with that system that has a low chance of development. We can see some isolated shores into eastern Puerto Rico. We see some rainfall to the east of Guadeloupe. And looking from earlier today, we can definitely see that northern Puerto Rico gotten on their fair share of afternoon thunderstorms. Section of eastern Dominican Republic, section of Dominica, eastern Guadeloupe gotten on some of the action too. And if we take a look at the Barbados radar, we can see some of that rainfall that was affecting portion of the island earlier, pushing more so from the east southeast to the west northwest. Some of this rainfall headed towards Martinique, section of St. Lucia getting in on the mix as we speak. So to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, section of Tobago, and even Trinidad getting on some amount of rainfall right now. Definitely some more as the night progresses. And if we take a look at the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see some rainfall across section of northwestern Venezuela, section of Colombia right there, some rainfall across Honduras, section of Belize, some isolated shores right there as well. And regarding where the rainfall is expected in the next 24 hours, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Monday. And we see the purples and the pinks. We know the heaviest rainfall is going to be coming into Jamaica associated with that potential tropical cyclone, which should be named Rafael. We see some heavy rainfall affecting portions of Panama, Costa Rica as well. We also see some rainfall in the greens, the yellows, the oranges, the reds that represent what we see on the key on the right. Anywhere from 0.2 all the way up to an inch of rainfall for the Bahamas, Eastern Cuba, the Turks and Caicos, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, sections of Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands, sections of St. Bart's, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Martin, Guadeloupe, Dominica, sections of, well, Martinique, St. Lucia, sections of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago. Scrolling down, we also see some rainfall in store for section of Guyana. Not much for Suriname or French Guyana on the GFS, but maybe coastal areas according to the Euro. We'll see how that plays out. Section of Venezuela, section of the ABC Islands, so too Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, Belize, and the eastern Yucatan as well. So that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast. I know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, that's it for now. Get ready for a brand new video bright and early tomorrow morning.